Hey guys, I'm here to do the mid-year Freakout book tag that is pretty much everybody on BookTube has done this video, and I'm a little late to the game, but let me just hop right into the questions. First question is, best book you've read so far this year? There's a few books that I had read this year that I actually really enjoyed and I given 5 stars, but I would probably say A House of Earth and Blood is the main one that I read that has been the best one that for this year so far, and that's by Sarah J. Maas. I probably don't have to explain what it's about because it's a BookTube darling, but I definitely really did enjoy that book. Best sequel you've read this year is question number 2. I would say Crown of Midnight, also by Sarah J. Maas. I've only just really gotten into reading her books this year, starting with the first Crescent City book, so I really wanted to read her backlist, so I would have to say Crown of Midnight is probably the best sequel because that's really the only sequel of hers that I've actually read. But I am enjoying the series so far, and I plan on reading the rest of them this year. Question number 3. New release you haven't read yet but want to. I would have to say The Desolations of Double Acres by Ransom Riggs. It's part of the Miss Pettigreen's Home for Peculiar Children series. I think I'm actually kind of behind on the series, so I would like to reread the series and read the I think Library of Souls is what I haven't read yet. I have the first 3 over there, and I believe I haven't read I think this is supposed to be the 5th one. I don't think I've read the 4th one either, so I definitely need to reread and catch up on those. Question number 4. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I would say I had to take a look at what was coming up in the year to really see what I'm really anticipating. There's really not very many books that I really anticipate coming out, but I would have to say probably Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I read Mexican Gothic earlier in the year and had enjoyed it, so I would like to see what her newer work will be, and I also need to read a couple of her backlist books as well. Number 5, biggest disappointment. There's not too many biggest disappointments reads for me this year, surprisingly. Really, the only one I would have to say is The Watchmen by Alan Moore, like the first volume. I DNF'd it. I couldn't get past, I think it was like, I read the first section in the first volume, and then after that I couldn't keep with it. It just wasn't capturing my attention, and I think this is the same author who wrote V for Vendetta, and I enjoyed reading that. I just couldn't get into The Watchmen. Harry, why are you coming over here? Apparently he wants to be in the video too. Say hi. Okay. You want to sit? Anyways, the number 6, biggest surprise. I would probably say A House of Earth and Blood. I was going in with the mindset that it was completely overhyped and it wasn't going to live up to my expectations, but it really proved me wrong. Favorite new author, debut, or new to you? Number 7. Obviously Sarah J. Maas. I can understand why people are in love with her storytelling, so I definitely have to say her being one of my favorite new authors. Number 8, newest fictional crush. I don't tend to usually feel super strongly about characters, like at least like that, but I would have to say probably Hunt from Crescent City. Just the way that he interacts with Bryce really just made me like him even more. So I would have to say him. Number 9, newest favorite character, Selena from Throne of Glass. She's definitely a strong role model for younger women and just in women in general. The way that she takes care of herself and her friend, how she tries to protect her friends. So I definitely, I would choose her. Book that made me cry. Honestly, I had written maybe Crescent City, but I don't tend to cry at books, really, so there's really not a book that I really cried at this year that I know of. At least not one that made me remember it that much. Number 11, book that made me happy. That would have been Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman. It's such a cute book, and I understand why it's so well loved in the book community. So I definitely have to say that. Number 12, most beautiful book that you bought so far this year or have received. I would say probably my copy of Practical Magic by, I forgot the author. Last name is Vanda Carr. It's one of the witchy books I happened to read. I originally read it as a library book and then bought my own copy because of how beautiful the illustrations are and how helpful the resources are in that book. So I definitely have to choose that. And the last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? Just really the remainder of Throne of Glass and A Court of Thorns and Roses. I would like to finish up that series by the end of the year. And really, I would like to finish Check Please and Heartstopper as well. Just as like the graphic novels I want to finish like reading. I pretty much caught up with Saga, I believe, so I know that that's not part of it. But yeah, probably just a remainder of Throne of Glass and ACOTAR. But yeah, those are the questions for the mid-year Freakout tag. Leave me a comment below of what books were your favorites this year, what made you cry, and things like that. And also tag me in your videos on social media as well if you happen to do this tag. I like to see your responses to these questions. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.